This is really bizarre thing. My subscription, my subscriptions are going up um, not by any of that stuff that they say that you go out and you buy page views. There are sweatshops out there that'll do that stuff. I'm not doing that. I really can't understand how I'm getting the subscriptions and not the views. And maybe I'm just too fast. I'm just producing too much content. But this is me. Anybody who knows me, who's known me in the past, know this is me. Because I'm just I'm just full of so much ideas that I cannot contain them. I'm full of ideas. I'm full of all sorts of inspiration. And this is called a hypomanic stage, according to the psychologists. If you think that I'm crazy, I'll let you think that, if that's what you want to think, because that desire to be a one up and above everybody else because you have problems yourself. That's got to be a attribute of psychopathy. I'm sure Trump has done that one. Oh yeah, he did it with Bezos. He said, "Oh Bezos, you bought up that paper. You're using it to spread, you know, lies. You're using it to misinform people. It's lies. It's all lies. What people are saying." Every conservative was telling me the same thing, and then they watch Fox TV thinking they're getting truth there because it's just fully agreeing with their worldview. No, you dumb fucktards. I'm sorry I keep using that word. I don't even know what a fucktard is. It's just a little favorite word that I keep using. And somebody's got some slang definition of what a fucktard is. I'm just thinking it's the pronoun, it's the overemphasis pronoun of evil. Um, me being super self righteous or whatever it is, but maybe I don't fully understand their point of view. But from my position, this is it, and that is, you haven't seen Outfoxed, the documentary. They'll say, "Oh, you haven't seen The Passion," and I'll say, "You haven't seen any Michael Moore documentary," and they'll say, "Michael Moore documentaries. Oh, Michael Moore, you should know better. He 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 manipulates his documentaries." Yes, he does manipulate his documentaries. I try very hard to be able to be entertained and watch a Michael Moore documentary when he's bestowing truths and then leveraging them with complete frauds, false stuff. At least I will admit to it. You guys are not admitting to the fact that even when Mel Gibson provides this passion, he's not bestowing anything of the attributes, anything of the virtues of Christianity, which is the things Jesus talked about before he got crucified. What was Jesus super not wanting on the night before that he cried a lot about? He didn't want to go to the cross. He didn't word it that way. A lot of conservatives will say, "But he did go to the cross." And I said, "Yes, but to show the human side of him, which you are really not bestowing on him, that God needs you to understand there was a human side to Jesus that did not want to go to the cross. And if you have a failure to identify with that human side, you do not understand how how terrible that was. You saw it in the Passion, but you still don't understand the maybe. And I just pointed it out a while ago. It's Rome's worst form of punishment. They would not even bestow it on their citizens unless they were treasonous. and Caesar was God, you know. And the Pharisees were so super, they could, if they couldn't get Jesus on blasphemy, they could at least reform that concept of blasphemy to point out to the Romans that Jesus not honoring Caesar when they gave him that coin. And it says, said toss him, he said, toss me a coin. And it says, who's on this coin? It says Caesar. And he says, so give to Caesar what Caesar's, give to God what's God's. Completely ruined them because they were going to get him on one area or another. Either he was going to blaspheme, or he was going to dishonor. He was going to dishonor God, or he was going to dishonor Caesar. The Pharisees. I don't know if Jesus didn't exist, then maybe the Pharisees also didn't exist. Then other things didn't exist, and then other kinds of trust systems that people are developing didn't exist. That maybe this guy Darwin didn't exist. We could take that out the wazoo. I could take this to other extremes if you want to go there. I got another one is, oh man, that was a fun one, I think. Oh yeah, Hitler created a mythology based on Darwinism because it was such a popular topic. That's where he got the swastika from. He got it from a pot. It was on a pot, and then he developed some super genetic Aryan race idea associated with it. The whole idea was to try to give back some amount of pride to the Germans that once were worshiping trees and then were given Christianity and then believed that it had really wronged them or something. He used Christianity and other things and just kind of created this constructed ideal system that was completely stupid. The Germans know it now. Don't flaw them. They get it every year in school, and they know it. It's super crooked. I I I tell people who are into porn, especially who want to say dirty stuff, naughty stuff, just learn German. Say something really nice and Christian like in German to a guy who just desires naughty stuff, who's not willing to understand the German language and is so seduced and think it's such a fantastic language. It's going to sound dirty to him. And that's where you laugh and then you go, oh, I relieved some stress to hear that bit of comedy. There's one thing that's true in heaven and hell, whether you want to believe it or not. One thing that's true in heaven and hell: comedy. It's beneficial in both parts, because I mean, in heaven, it's well, at least in earth. In hell, I don't know. In heaven, we're really going to be telling jokes, because jokes kind of rely on irony. How can you really be in heaven and tell a joke? That's an interesting one. Yeah, if everything's perfect, how can you tell a joke? And I mean, if people had no pain and anything, they're toiling. Okay, and there's the sun with no pain, having farms, and then some guy says, "Hey, look, you dropped one. Ah, see what I did there?" And then they go, "Ah, that was great." That probably is relatively harmless. But in hell, it's like everybody's just getting super tortured, and then they're just trying to lubricate this hellish existence because they know people don't want to move, but they're just going to have to keep moving. And so to lubricate that, they're gonna have whoever the comedian is, the the flavor of the moment. This comedian comes up and tells a lot of jokes, and everybody laughs. And then it relieves something of some amount of tension. Then they're able to continue to go on and get the torture and do the 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 awful mythological thing of that guy pushing up a rock over, up to a hill, knowing fully well that there's really no benefit to doing that because it's just going to roll down again. You just keep doing it over and over and over again. Pointless work. This could be pointless work if this is hell. But to me, that's a bit of fun because eventually, how in the world am I eventually going to come to the realization that I'm in hell of this? Because I probably will, and it could be, but to me, it's cathartic because it gets me through the time. I could be sitting here and whacking off. But that's rather boring. That stuff's really boring. For me, this is more cathartic. To think that I'm actually having some effect is more cathartic than and fun, because there was a time in the past, a good bit of the time in the past, where I was really not being effective, not using my talent. I have sleep apnea, and I can't guarantee that I didn't die in my sleep. But why do I still have choices, and why is Satan bothering me all the time? I mean, if Satan's the father of lies, why sit there and nudge at you that you're lost and all this other kind of stuff? It's possible that I'm not found. It's possible that when I went and got baptized, I didn't have my heart in it. It's possible that the 404 are not found is not the full outcome. It's possible that that I need a second baptism, because I do realize, and I'm probably not going to get that baptism because I'm going to leave it up as a metaphysical conundrum. Not really a metaphysical conundrum. I just revealed the whole thing right there. All the angels are like, see, you said it there, and you can free him up right now. And I'm like, no, let me go through it. I've got more to do. This mission hasn't been done. You know, it ain't over till the fat lady sings or whatever else comes in there, or until we can make the frog dance. Hello, my money, hello, my ragtime gal. Find me by words, live my life on fire. Lose me, honey, lose me, and you lose me. I used to be in spebsqsa, so I know that song. I just don't remember the lyrics. I can sing them for you, but spebsqsa is a Society for the Preservation of Barbershop Singing in America, Incorporated. And we had to say that at every single show. One of the shows I actually led, they gave me the opportunity to do choreography, because that's one of the things, is that whenever you're in a club like that where everybody's doing something they love, and believe me, though you may not be able to sing, you could try to make it in there. They'll accept you even if you think you can't sing. They'll figure out some way to make it pleasurable for you one way or another. You might end up being managing the website if you really can't sing. But we had a guy that we thought couldn't sing, and eventually did develop the ability to sing. And his father said, he doesn't know how to sing. He's got one note that he really likes. He can really sing on that note really well. And people are like, no, don't tell us that. It makes us feel like we won't be successful to this. And this kid is really beautiful. I still love him. I'm not going to go into detail with him. He knows who he is. Also had flaws that it was not his doing, and is very inspirational to me. Um, I won't go into. If I did, this video would, I swear, would absolutely stop by not my doing, but by metaphysical intervention. Divine intervention, I don't think I can go there. Satan's going to say, you don't want to go there. If I think Satan has that capacity. Or there's some angels that are saying, look, we really like watching your show, but you don't want to do this. So it's happened more than once. It's happened in many different ways. I don't want you to have to believe that. It's on my end. I'm just pointing out that it does happen. Uh, Also, another idea on top of that, if you ever hear anybody say, and they're in church and you want to believe and you really want to do, you want to get to that point, you want to baptize, your intent on it, don't lose heart if somebody says, you know, with some, they think they're getting some sort, they're doing something that's inspiring that could actually be kind of destructive and may actually cause people to leave this little thing. Oh, I Jesus came to me in a dream last night. Oh, I got to dream. Jesus came down and sat by me. How? What's going to happen there? And the only reason why I have this is because I experienced it not long ago from somebody else, and I think the full reason why whatever it is that's keeping me from going to a specific environment, I will not go there as well. I mean, even if you unveiled it, it would be more a problem for them and you than it would be for me. That's the reason why I'm not going there, because I'm trying to protect other people, not me. The 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 is it God or is it Satan? I can't tell. I'm not gonna believe I know which way or another. It comes out somehow, and it's from someone. And God can use Satan to get things out just as much as to say them direct. I don't know if this is divine or just metaphysical intervention from something out there. You can't really know. So anyhow, I have to go back and look for